I want to salute you, homie, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
With my boy Alfred on MrTaliaferro.com.
MrTaliaferro.com.
Right now, I'm about to go to Walmart.
Just to see you with your logo on your mics.
You're rocking with MrTaliaferro.com.
Y'all go to MrTaliaferro.com. It's going down.
My biggest gift is my voice. It allows me to speak to the culture.
Right now you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty.
All right, so Russell Westbrook did something. I'm not going to lie. It even shocked me. I did not see this one coming. He went and signed a contract extension right now with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Add about 3 more years. Well, this year he got this year restructured in 2 more years. The new contract can give him up to $85.7 million. He has a player opt for that last year. This year he was expected to make about, $17 million. He's going to be boosted up to about $26.5 million, about a $9 million cap increase for him. So now he's making that max money. And for the next 2 seasons, he'll be making that. And he'll have that option in the 3rd year to do whatever he pleases. And at that point, he'll be able to capitalize on a bigger cap because he'll have 10 seasons in the league. And he can get about, 35% of the available cap room that each team will possess. And that'll be in, 2018, 19, something like that. Let's break down a couple things about this deal. First and foremost, again, I told you it was a shocker to me. I did not expect Russell Westbrook to sign right now. You want to know why? Because Russell Westbrook's not a guy that dealt with a lot of injuries throughout his career. You would understand a guy sign a deal like this. Let's use Derrick Rose. If Derrick Rose was offered a max contract by the New York Knicks today, he's in the final year of his deal as well. And they offered him about $85 million, the same contract that Westbrook got. He'd sign it with no questions asked. You want to know why? Because Derrick Rose has dealt with a lot of injuries throughout his career. For Russell Westbrook to take this deal, it kind of threw me off a little bit because Westbrook hasn't dealt with a lot of injuries. Let's keep in mind the only reason why he went through knee problems is because Patrick Beverley was going for the ball in the playoffs in a series while Russell Westbrook was heading to a timeout and just trying to, stop the ball, and he ended up tearing his ACL that way. So it's not like Westbrook gets injured on any of these emphatic dunks that he goes up for or in the midst of gameplay. This was just like a freak injury, just a rare occurrence for him. He's been a pretty durable player. You won't find pretty much any other players more durable than him in the league. It's different from what Kevin Durant dealt with foot problems, where that's just something that happened within his body or other injuries. Besides LeBron James, many will argue that Russell Westbrook is the most durable athlete of our generation, especially for some of the things both of those guys do, and to just not be dealt with injuries. I mean, I really would love to know this guy's died. But for him to sign that deal now, it threw me off a little bit because he could have signed this deal at the end of the year and kept his options available. I'm not going to say this is the smartest thing, but I do respect him signing with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I won't knock him for it, but I just think it maybe wasn't the smartest move. I look at a Damian Lillard. He did pretty much the exact same thing. After LaMarcus Aldridge left, many people believe, all right, Damian Lillard is next up. He's going to be the next to go. And actually, Damian Lillard looked at the situation the complete opposite. That's why I don't know if you've seen it on my Twitter, I compare Damian Lillard to Russell Westbrook mentality standpoint. That's why they can give Steph Curry fits, because they don't care. They're killers. And when I look at Damian Lillard, he looked at that situation the complete opposite of what everybody thought he was. He said, oh, you going to leave me? This is your loss, not mine. You're leaving me. You leaving a good situation. Wherever you go, you're not going to find another me. It's kind of like that fine, beautiful, independent woman who doesn't need that man in a relationship. He leaves thinking like you gonna struggle without me being there. No, she telling you I'm the blessing to you. You need me. I keep your life in order. So it's kind of that same dynamic. But in the grand scheme of things, Damian Lillard, another guy who doesn't get injured a lot, I would love to see those guys at least hit free agency. Because when we talk about Russell Westbrook and you talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder, a lot of people are high on this team. I'm not as high on this team as a lot of people are. I've heard it from anywhere from finishing second in the Western Conference to number 4. I haven't heard anything lower than 4, as far as projections for them, as far as a seeding standpoint next year. I'm not that high on them. I think they could fight for 5 or 6 in the Western Conference. I still believe the Clippers are better than them. Of course, the Golden State Warriors are better than them. I still believe the San Antonio Spurs are better than them. I don't know why we're just going to sleep on San Antonio like that. I get it, Duncan's gone, but they got Pau Gasol, and he's a better player than Tim Duncan is right now. I'm just being honest about it. So those 3 teams for a fact. And then when you look at the landscape of the West, I'm looking at a Portland team. I'm not 100% sure if OKC is better than that Portland team that's currently constructed. I'm looking at a couple other teams in the Western Conference, and I'm like, I don't know. I think they'll fight for 5 or 6, but for me to just go out, I think Houston's going to be decent. Under D'Antoni's system, they're going to be able to get up and down. So I'm not going to go as far as to say that this is a knock in that Westbrook is still going to have a top 4, top 5 team in the West. I want people to understand what he's losing in Kevin Durant, man. You're losing 30 points per game, a guy that always keeps 1 defender, sometimes 2 on him. That defense is going to be able to focus in on a Russell Westbrook who's never had a jumper, who's never been able to shoot at a prolific rate. So I'm not going to say that. I like Victor Oladipo. I think he was a nice signing. I think they have a nice backcourt, but I don't love what the OKC Thunder still have. Roberson's going to have to start at the 3 now, maybe something like that. I don't love that. They need to go out and maybe get a 3. They need to fill a void, but it is good for the Oklahoma City Thunder as an organization. They are overjoyed right now. They got their piece, and they can still build. They can still bring weapons to Oklahoma City. They don't have to worry about being that rebuild team that we thought they would be. They were going to have to struggle for the next 10, 15. Some franchises never recover from losing 2 players of the caliber. Hell, it would have been the 3rd one if you want to include James Harden and Serge Ibaka. So I'm not that high on the Thunder like a lot of people are. I'm happy for Westbrook that he re-signed, but I don't think he made the best decision for him from a standpoint of, man, you didn't look, man, the Lakers are going to have money. Boston is going to have buku money, and Boston would actually make a lot of sense. You put him and Isaiah Thomas in that backcourt with Al Horford. That's a pretty damn good team. Al Horford's somebody that considered joining the Oklahoma City Thunder this offseason. So I think he might have made a mistake here. I respect the mistake because he's being loyal. But if we want to talk about championships, I don't think this is going to be the move that 100% guarantees him his best opportunity at winning. I'll be honest with you, it seems as if though Westbrook is more concerned with being loyal and stat stuffing for the next few years, because I just don't understand how this move made sense from a basketball standpoint, especially next year. You think everybody had money this year? Next year, everyone's going to have cap room, max dollar room to sign another free agent. So pretty much Westbrook could have had his choice at any other team out there, any other of the 29 teams out there. He pretty much could have joined for the most part, maybe outside of Cleveland. So for him to sign now, I get it, loyalty. And if he's an Oklahoma City guy, he wants to show free agents that he's committed to the team. But honestly, he gives Oklahoma City that leverage again. Let's say they wanted to trade him, which isn't going to happen. Let me throw that asterisk by it. They're not going to trade Russell Westbrook. A team can now trade for him, and I don't think Russell has a no trade clause. A team can now trade for him because they know they have him for at least a year or 2 more. So with him being a free agent, Russell probably didn't want to get traded to a team for a rental for a few months. He probably would have rather signed out outright had he went through his free agency. So around February, you knew the Oklahoma City Thunder would have had to trade him because they just can't let another superstar walk. So it would have made teams would have been kind of skeptical to sign him or trade for him because they don't have a commitment for him for long term. So now if the Oklahoma City Thunder wanted to trade Russell Westbrook, if they didn't like his mentality, his demeanor, they can go trade him for a top-notch talent now, and a team knows they're going to have Russell Westbrook for at least 2 years, and he really doesn't have any say-so in it. So I'm just throwing it out there. Now, granted, I don't believe Oklahoma City Thunder are going to trade Russell Westbrook by any means. He's a great talent, and he showed loyalty to them when Kevin Durant didn't. And I'm going to get to Kevin Durant in a second, so I don't believe that's going to be ever a predicament or a situation. I'm just saying. I'm just saying to me, it just didn't make the best basketball sense for Russell Westbrook to sign now. Now, I ain't gonna knock anybody for going and getting their money. He got a $9 million more pay rate. That's a house, a couple houses, some new cars and everything this year. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna knock somebody, but somebody like Russell Westbrook has already seen a lot of money in his career. I don't know how much money is driving him right now from a team standpoint. If we're talking strictly basketball, I don't know if this was the best move he could have made. They're still lacking a three. They're still lacking perimeter shooting. They have no perimeter shooting. You lose Kevin Durant, one of the best shooters of our generation, and you replace him with Victor Oladipo, and you still got Roberson. These guys can't shoot. You know, Enes Kanter can space the floor to an extent. Steven Adams can't space the floor. You lost Ibaka, another guy who can space the floor. There is not a lot of floor spacing for this Oklahoma City Thunder team. And I'll go look at some of their moves again. But just looking at the roster right now, didn't do a great job in free agency. You couldn't convince free agents to just wholeheartedly sign with you guys because, hell, you didn't know who'd be around. A lot of people thought Russell Westbrook might have got traded this offseason. So I'm going to get to another interesting component of this. The fact that we believe now that it's because LeBron went home and he went, because LeBron came back home to Cleveland, we've now started this thing that every free agent is going to want to get home now when they have the opportunity. I'll be honest with you. Let's look at this. Blake Griffin will be a free agent after next year. He's from the Oklahoma area. Played college in Oklahoma. Oklahoma City is going to turn their attention to trying to get Blake Griffin. If the Clippers lose again, and, if they lose again, it'd probably be because of another injury, because I think they have the talent on paper to still get it done. I think Blake might cut his losses with the Clippers and just say, man, it's just not going to work out. Even though he convinced DeAndre Jordan to stay, he might just have to look up and be like, man, it's not going to work out. Maybe there is an unluckiness on our franchise. Chris Paul might be wanting out at that point. Doc Rivers might even be on the way out because, hey, man, results are results, and the Clippers just haven't proved to give results after Steve Ballmer took over this team and put a lot of money in this team. Now, I know injuries have had a big helping hand in that, but, hey, life is life. So with that being said, the Oklahoma City Thunder believe they have a great shot at getting Blake Griffin. Not going to knock him because they just pulled off the impossible and convinced Russell Westbrook to sign to an extension right now. But I don't believe Blake Griffin will just be considering the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think the Miami Heat are going to have a big push. I think the other team in L.A. is going to have a big push, the Lakers, because they will have money. And they might could work out a sign and trade with the Clippers for maybe Julius Randle and a pick or something like that, or D'Angelo Russell and change, depending on what the Clippers do. So I'm not 100% sure if Blake Griffin's just going to be happy about going to play with Russell Westbrook and the Thunder. I think it would be a nice move, a very entertaining move, two of the most explosive athletes of our generation. But number one, from a passing standpoint, Russell Westbrook can't get Blake Griffin the ball like Chris Paul can, and part of the issue that Kevin Durant was dealt with. He felt as though he couldn't win. I'm going to get to Kevin Durant in a minute and how he all fits in all this whole paradigm. So with that being said, the Thunder are going to go after Blake Griffin wholeheartedly, especially if the Clippers fall short again. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be their next move. But right now, the roster, the roster is just not appeasing. I'm looking at some of their moves. It just doesn't seem like this will be a team that'll be in a position to sign a top free agent. I like Russell Westbrook, I do, but look at this roster. And I don't understand why people say the Thunder have went out and gotten Durant and Westbrook the talent. Remember, I was one of the guys saying I think Durant had every right to leave. They draft well. Keep that in mind. They draft really well. They haven't signed anyone. They lost James Harden. They've lost a couple other guys that they've had. They don't sign well. They don't go out and get you your weapons you need. They just draft well and then not pay guys. That's what the Thunder do. They just draft really well. top-notch drafting organization they got over there. That farm system is amazing, but they don't really go out and sign free agents. I mean, Deion Waiters, traded for him. He was wishy-washy. Victor Oladipo, I think, is going to be a nice fit, but, man, you traded for him. You didn't go out and get anybody on the free agent market because they're still a mid-market team. Even in this cap, you got to go out and give me some more players. I mean, they're well under the cap right now. Only Enes Kanter and Russell Westbrook now make double-digit salaries. The Cavs have like 5 or 6 guys making double-digit salaries. So, Cameron Payne makes about $2 million. Victor Oladipo makes about $6 million. Other than that, I was really making a lot of money on this team. They're saving a lot of money. So with that being said, let's talk about this Kevin Durant relationship with Russell Westbrook. So Russell Westbrook pretty much put it in the air, right? After Kevin Durant said we hadn't talked yet, me and Russell talk in the future during this press conference when he signed with the Golden State Warriors. Russell Westbrook pretty much kind of combated them words and said, look, I found out about Kevin Durant signing with the Golden State Warriors just like y'all did through social media. Kevin Durant didn't text me, didn't call me. I ain't talked to the man. And we talked earlier on in the process of free agency, and from that conversation, I thought he was staying in Oklahoma City. I did not have any clue that he was leaving, and I definitely didn't believe he was going to leave with my enemy. So this makes Kevin Durant look really bad. Really bad. Really bad. I'm going to tell you why. You go join a team that beat you, and you leave one of the ultimate competitors. You do something that Russell Westbrook would have never did. He's that loyal friend. He's the guy that if you get to fight in a party, even if y'all going to get y'all ass whipped, he's going down swinging. That's who Russell Westbrook is. You go leave somebody that we thought you were close with. You go leave and join Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson, and for what a lot of people are calling, you go take the easy way out. They already had 73 wins last year and were a few points away from winning the championship last year. You go join that organization. You do that. Number one, you catching a lot of hell for that. On top of all that, you don't even call Russell Westbrook or give him the respect to call somebody you've been teammates with for 7-8 years now. Don't understand it. And he looks bad. It's like, damn, Kevin Durant. You watching Russell Westbrook stick it out with the team. I think LaMarcus Aldridge's situation was a little bit different. They didn't lose to San Antonio in the playoffs like OKC beat Golden State. Portland was a contender for championships at the time, even though San Antonio defeated them in the playoffs that previous year. It's kind of different. But I understand why Damian Lillard stayed, but at the same time, it's kind of different. For Kevin Durant to leave and do it the way he did it. And by the way, San Antonio was a really good team, but they weren't a great team. They were a great organization before LaMarcus Aldridge joined. They were about to actually hit on a downfall before LaMarcus Aldridge joined. Kevin Durant joined a 73-win team last year. No respect for that move. No respect. And Russell Westbrook pretty much shows his loyalty and in all this. And it's pretty sad that it seems like Kevin Durant just didn't want to do the same. And to see these two break up like this and to watch Russell Westbrook probably get his ass whipped against the Golden State Warriors next year, it sucks, man. I ain't got no respect for Kevin Durant for making that move. I think I'm going to close this podcast out here. Thank you for tuning in to another podcast, Telefarrell Podcast. We are growing slowly but surely. Keep tuning in. I got more podcasts on the way. This one is brought to you by About Damn Time Clothing. Check the links in my description for ways to buy About Damn Time Clothing. Talk to me in my comment box below about this podcast. Thank you for your time. I don't take it for granted. Salute. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
With my boy Alfred on MrTaliferro.com.
MrTaliferro.com.
Right now, I'm about to go to Walmart.
Just to see you with your logo on your mics.
You're rocking with MrTaliferro.com.
Y'all go to MrTaliferro.com. It's going down.
My biggest gift is my voice. It allows me to speak to the culture.
Right now you're turning up on MrTaliferro.com, shawty.